Goeiedag! Good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. You know, one of the main reasons that I left South Africa was what happened to a couple of policemen in Krugersdorp. I think I've related this story before on this channel, but it was a long, long time ago. And I had a very few subscribers at the time, but now we've got getting close to 40,000. It's about time I repeated what happened. I lived in a place called Rantendal, which is a suburb of Krugersdorp. And my then wife's family were very close to a lot of the police in Krugersdorp because they had a number of delis or little shops where you could go in and buy sweets and bits and pieces and newspapers and stuff like that. And it was in 1986, and I'm sure if you Google this, you'll find all the information. But this is from a very personal perspective. My ex-wife, who is Portuguese, her elder brother phoned her and said, "You won't believe what's just happened." And I saw her face just going. And after she'd put the phone down, I said, "Well, what happened?" And she said, "Well, there was a protest, I call them riots, in the West Rand, just west of Krugersdorp. And two young policemen from the Krugersdorp police station, white guys, were sent out to go and investigate. And they went into this African township, and the roads weren't great, and they came around a corner, and in front of them, maybe 100, 200 yards away from them, was this huge crowd of Africans, and they had their pangas up, and they had their knobkerries, and they were dancing, and they were carrying on, and they were just being like black Africans are. And they phoned up the base and said, "Hey, there's a huge protest going on, or a huge riot going on here. What do you want us to do? Because, it's only the two of us, and there's probably a few thousand of them." And the guy back at the Krugersdorp police station on the radio said, "Look, you better turn around and come home, and we'll have a think about this." So the driver did a bit of a wheelie in this very rough road, and his rear fender got caught in a cable which is embedded in the ground. So it's like being a fish on a hook. He couldn't move. And, he was doing wheelies, and, he was just stuck. He was just totally stuck. And the Africans were coming closer and closer and closer. And they had bulletproof glass windows. They had the wire, which is supposed to stop the rocks and stuff like that. And the guy on the radio back in Krugersdorp police station could hear them talking and could hear what was going on, and realized that these guys were stuck. And they didn't have reinforcements available at that time to go out and help them, and they wouldn't have had time anyway because they were several kilometers away from the police station. And these Africans circled the police vehicle like it was some sacrificial lamb, and they started hitting it with rocks and with their knobkerries and with their pangas and with pipes and whatever. And because of the sheer volume of attack, the metal guards fell away. The bulletproof glass gave away. And to cut a long story short, this crowd pulled these two young policemen out of their vehicle, and they went through the necklacing process. And the whole time, leading up to the time they were pulled out of the vehicle, the police back in Krugersdorp at the police station could hear them, getting more and more desperate. And they knew what their fate was going to be. It was just shocking. And that was a tipping point for me to leave South Africa and go to the Australian Embassy and apply to move to Australia, which I did in 1987. It's a horrific story, but it's never been told by the media. Here you had two young white policemen going out, doing their job to go and check on this riot, and they were sacrificed in the most brutal and torturous way. I mean, it is just appalling. Now, why am I talking about this? Because I got an email from Skippo. Hey, Skippo, you know who you are? And I love it when I get personal reflections from people, because really, when you think about it, in years to come, people are going to look at these videos and they're going to say, okay, let's see what people actually experienced. And these personal reflections that I'm happy to put up on the channel when people say, please do, add meat to the bone. It gives you a far clearer perspective of that person's views of what's happening at that point in time. But you can understand why he was panicked when this happened. And I'm going to attach a very short sound bite that he sent me. It's only about 7 seconds long, and he explains here what he was doing, so I'll just read to what he says. He says, "Hi Scott, hope you're doing well. I apologize for my previous email when the video didn't come through as an attachment. I tried to mail you to let you know. I struggled with attaching it, but even that failed. I ran updates and it seemed to have fixed the problem. I have something I managed to capture while I sent a voice note to my wife today. Only after I played it back, while I cleared unwanted files from my device, I noticed that it picked up my surroundings too. What happened was I was driving today and my phone rang with a call from my wife. I seldom answer calls in the car unless it's from immediate family members. When I sent a quick voice note, at first asking her to reply with a voice note as I was driving, I turned into a road, and what I encountered was something quite common here, but extremely scary to be caught in. An unknown amount of guys protesting was coming my direction down the road. I was the only car. No police, no way forward, and objects being thrown my way, as well as buildings they passed. I don't know what the protest was about or who was involved. I know it's a short audio clip, but at that moment I had to act quickly to turn the car around, and in the background you can hear them coming closer. At that moment I was shaking from fear. Just a quick personal message to Scott. This happened in the East Rand in Johannesburg. I thought there's one person who would like to hear something like this. It's you. I can try and enhance the audio if the clip is hard to hear. I want to be very careful in which information I'm sharing, especially in the open, as these barbarians won't think twice to find a person and kill him. But I can say this much. The majority I managed to catch, a glimpse of were wearing almost similar to what you sometimes use in your uploads on your head with those 3 words on it. EFF, Economic Freedom Fighters. But just in the color of an apple, not the green or yellow apples. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm referring to. I'm so tired of this constant fear in South Africa, I can cry. It's like walking on eggs every single day and just waiting for that moment when you can't dodge danger anymore, because it's getting closer by the day. This incident cost me damage to my car for absolutely nothing. If you would like to share it with, you may with my pleasure. I would just like to ask if you give a shout out like you normally do, if possible, instead of using my real name, please use the name Schipo Kokomo, as I don't want my identity to be known. But we at the same time will be very honored to receive a shout out. Thank you very much for all your hard work you do with Loving Life, doing your best to help us and keep us up to date. I still think the future generations of Boere should know you as a hero. My son definitely will and should. God still bless us as much as he has had every day so far. I'll make sure my grandchildren also know about you and carry it in on their children, etc. Goodness, I'm still shaken up. I didn't realize how much I've typed. Scott, you may be blessed very much, my friend. And if you're ever looking for a medical doctor to assist in the event you manage to arrange to help the poor, I will gladly assist. And then he signs off, Skippy. All right, guys, look, here comes the short audio clip. You can clearly hear the rioters in the background. And the reason I related that story about what made me leave South Africa is because that's what these guys do. When they're in a group, they just act like barbarians. They're savage. All right, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates, and have a great day. Bye for now.
I'll phone you back now, love. I'm here in the middle of a riot now.